Welcome.
22.
22.
We are 22 years old in podcast years.
Yes.
But those are more like weeks.
Yes.
It's like a dog. Dog years. Podcast years. Weeks of podcasting. Don't try to follow my reasoning here.
I'm not following it.
Alright.
22.
Or is it like a religious context? It's a week is as the same as a year as it is for the Lord. So technically, we're podcasting gods, is what I'm saying, because we've had 22. This will be the 22nd week, but technically that's a year for us. So we're progressing.
Painful.
But I brought it back around.
Okay.
But welcome. What are we going to talk about? What's our topic today, Jake?
What's our topic? I woke up at 3 a.m. So I apologize in advance.
I woke up at 8 a.m. And I went to sleep at like 8. Hey, when did we go to sleep?
We went to bed at like 8 or 7.
Yeah. So we got like a solid 12 or 13 hours.
Nice. Jealous.
I actually feel that pre-workout.
Pretty good.
Pretty good
stuff. Natural caffeine.
Feel stronger already.
Yeah. Well, I finished Charlie Munger yesterday, and then I finished the Chris. I think it's Chris Glass.
Don't give him the wrong information.
No, don't give him the wrong information.
But yeah, you finished reading Poor Charlie's Almanac?
Yep. Never Split the Difference by Chris Voss.
I've heard of this book.
Yeah.
Actually.
Former FBI top hostage negotiator. Field-tested tools for talking anyone into or out of just about anything. It's very good. I was like, in my mind, I was thinking about different deals that I've done, and I'm like, dang, I've gotten screwed. like, for instance, like when I bought my Tesla, I went to Atlanta, and the whole stage of the situation was all the cards were not in my hand. All the cards were in their hand.
Right.
Because I had a friend. I was going to buy this car. So that's the first mistake.
Right. Don't let your intentions be known.
Yeah, I probably did. I don't remember if I did or not.
Yeah.
But I had a friend driving there all the way to Atlanta. So 2 people walk in. So, okay, this person's going to buy this car. Instantly, that's going to be the salesperson.
Right.
That takes away your negotiating room.
Right.
And then
because your friend drove you.
Yeah.
Your friend drove you, you didn't drive yourself, so clearly you don't have a car type of situation.
Yep.
Yeah, so that's what you're communicating to the salesman.
Yeah, and I bet I was super stoked, super nervous. So it was like, yeah, there's another like sign. Yeah, we got this person in the bag. So like, there's no negotiating. My negotiating power was taken.
Yeah.
I gave it all away pretty much. Yeah. I tried to negotiate, failed miserably. Yeah. So this book really goes into like teaching you how to negotiate better and like things to avoid in conversations, and it's really practical about like more than just like deals and everything, like relationships and stuff like that. Like I know. Like you notice, like people will tend to ask, like if they ask questions or whatever, it's kind of like there's a lot of negative connotations to it. Like you put people on the defensive. You make people are like arguing their points and everything. Basically, it's like. It's just asking questions, like trying to get to the root of what's going on, and not asking in a way where it's like an attack, in a sense.
Right.
So.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, Because like what would be a good example for that? Because I think I understand what you're saying, but like if I'm trying to think of an example for myself.
Yeah.
You destroyed that toothpick. It'd be like with like, and I did it as a joke because he actually was talking to me before about this, about the negotiator book, or Never Split the Difference, rather, that book that we just mentioned. But I was, we were setting up for the podcast, and I had this, or Jacob set up the stand, and as a joke, I was like, Jacob, why is this stand so tall?
Yeah, it's accusatory. Why?
It's accusatory. It's never a positive. Usually, especially in the workforce, when somebody says, "Hey,
why did you do this?
Why did you do this?" It's kind of like, you messed up. Now you're going to explain to me what was your thinking.
And then it puts that person completely on the defensive. Anxiety rises, and now you got a situation where it's not fun.
Right.
The way to do it, like he was a hostage negotiator. He's like, basically, yeah, you want to get the other side to almost solve the problem for you.
Right.
So like like for instance, if like in one of the situations, like I'm drawing a blank. This couple, the husband gets taken, and Chris Voss is like telling her what to say pretty much to the
husband,
to the guy that took her husband. And
okay. So
And basically, he's like, I want $1 million, and she's like, one of the things is like, how do I come up with that? Like, I'm not gonna be
I'm not gonna come up with that convincingly.
Well, she's like, how am I gonna come up with that money? She's asking the hostage, the guy that took her husband hostage, that.
Oh, okay.
It's interesting. So it's like reframing it in a way to like getting the
perpetrator that actually took the husband hostage, get him to solve her problem for her.
Yeah, in a sense, like because it's pretty much just like playing for time, I guess.
Right. So he wanted $1 million.
Yeah.
And so she said to the perpetrator that took her husband hostage, she said, "How am I to come up with $1 million?"
It's not the first thing she said. She's like, how do I know my husband's okay? She's like asking, like, how am I gonna, like, because he's asking for $1 million or whatever, $10 million, and she's like, how do I know he's okay?
Right. How do I know he's still alive?
Because a lot of times, like, if you put yourself in that situation, what do people do? They freak out, or like trying to come up with the money or whatever.
Right.
And
he may already be dead.
Yeah. So like, how am I gonna, like, how do I know he's alive?
Right.
So like, then that's actually one of the key ways they like get him on the phone. But you can use the same thing in like in a deal. So like, one of the examples was someone, their rent went to like, the landlord was increasing their rent.
Yeah.
And they came in and they just asked, like, I just read the book. I'm probably gonna listen to this book again to get this down because it is very useful. I don't want to butcher it.
Sure.
But it basically, like, he calls it like an anchor. The amount, like, you don't want to be the first person to say the price. You want the other person to say the price.
Sure.
First.
Yeah.
So they have their price, and like, how about this price?
Right.
I think it was like 1850 or something like that, and like, how about 1700? And they, like, the landlord laughs or whatever. Like, that's so, like, okay, well, like, pretty much they're building rapport with this person. Like, man, I really like this place. I've been here for a while. I'm a good tenant, and if I leave, if I leave to go to another place, it's going to cost you money to repaint this, and also statistically, one out of four tenants are bad tenants.
Right. So you may run into a bad apple, yeah.
Yeah, so like the risk is there. I understand this is a really nice place. That's why I want to stay here.
Yeah.
Stuff like that. So you're building a rapport. Like, well, how about 17? I think it was like 17, 15 or something like that.
Right. So you're putting all the you're laying out, like, basically you're not thinking about yourself, because like that's I think I'm gonna take this out real quick. That's I think what one of the biggest problems I think when people try to negotiate prices is they're not thinking of the person they're negotiating with, of his or her problems. They're thinking of their own problems.
Yeah.
So it's like that's when you go into the situation and you're like, say it's a rental situation like we've been talking about, and you say your rent is $1,000 is increasing to $1,200. You're just thinking, oh my God, I can't afford $1,200.
Yeah.
And then you're like, hey, I'll pay you $1,100. But you're just like totally divorced from how they're looking at things. So you need to actually put your mind into the way they see things.
Yep.
And then you can sit there and throw out all the positives of you staying there. Like you were saying, throw out all the positives, and then figure out, like I guess in this situation, you would already know the price that he wanted, but like in a situation with a car, where you're trying to buy a car, it makes sense that you don't want to throw out the first price, because what if your price, if your goal is to pay us the lowest possible for a vehicle, and you're going to throw out your price, what you think the car's worth, it may actually be way over what he was originally thinking of selling it to you for.
Yeah.
And you just shot yourself in the foot.
Yep.
So it's like, it totally makes sense and that's actually, I've seen Craigslist or Facebook ads where they say best offer. Because they actually, what they're doing is they're doing the reverse of it.
Yeah.
They're actually wanting everybody else to give them a price, and then they can sit there and they hold the power.
True.
Because like if you come in and you look at a car and you're like, oh, that's worth $3,000.
I never have looked at those. Like I've never been interested in any of those.
Oh, like best offer.
Yeah, just shoot me an offer or whatever.
I've done it. I've shot people offers before.
Yeah.
It doesn't bother me. But I guess the smart thing would be is not to shoot them an offer. The smart thing would be like, what are you looking for? What's the range? Try to
get the power in your court. Yeah.
So that's interesting.
Yeah, I'm actually gonna buy I'm interested in a PlayStation 5 or Edge controller or whatever. And they got it listed for $120.
Yeah.
I don't want to spend $120. I'll pay $100, but I'm gonna throw $80.
Right.
Or just offer 80, and if they like, we can do 100. But I was almost gonna be like, hey, will you take 100 for it?
Yeah.
I'm like, they might take it, but if I can negotiate the 80, we're more likely to be happy with 100. They're gonna be more happy with 100.
Yeah.
Like than if I just said, right, will you take 100?
Yeah.
It's weird because
you start off low and then you can go up from there.
Yeah.
Because it's also a thing, like I've heard this before, which is interesting. If you say I wanted you, well, you were talking about Doom 2 a while ago. You were like, hey, you should go watch it sometime, and we were actually thinking about going, like at one point we were like, oh, maybe we go to the theater or whatever, right? So if you wanted me to really like the movie, the worst possible thing you could do is tell me Dune 2 is the best movie ever, bro. You have to see this movie. It is gonna blow your socks off.
Watch it.
Because it's actually,
expectations.
It sets your expectations really high, and then when I go in to see the movie and I watch it, you've set my expectations really high. So
Did you watch it though?
No, I didn't.
You didn't watch it, so you don't know.
No, I don't know, but I'm making a point.
It is a good point.
Yeah.
It is a good point.
The point I'm making is like you set the expectation really high, and then I watch it, and it's gonna have to like double blow my socks off, because if it doesn't, and if it's just a really good movie, I'm gonna be let down.
Yeah.
And the you know, switch the flip of that works too. Like,
I know I'm going like slightly off topic, but I have thought about this and it actually bothers me quite a bit, and I want to kind of explore it.
Yeah.
I have an issue where even if I'm friends with the person or whatever, sometimes if they recommend like even a movie or whatever, they're like, oh, this is so good. For some reason, I don't want to do it. I'm like, funny. Why?
That's funny.
Do you have that?
No.
It's just me. I'm a jerk.
No.
I will though. I will but for some reason I've got like
Mark of the Lion series.
Yeah,
you gotta
listen to it. For some reason, I'm like, I don't know why I don't want to. Maybe that's just self growth. That's like
contrarian thinking. Maybe
I don't know what it is. It's probably something I need to just like start. Like if someone says you should check this out, I should just check it out. I do sometimes, but it's like,
yeah,
I don't know.
I might have that a little bit, not with like movies and songs and stuff like that, but. I might actually have a little bit of that with like advice.
Yeah.
When someone offers me advice on something, I'm just like, no, I don't want to do that.
Yeah. I think it might oh, this is like a good book or something.
Yeah.
Unless I haven't heard of it before.
Yeah.
I'm like, I feel like I kind of already know what good knowledge is. Potentially, that's probably arrogant. That's arrogant.
Yeah.
And that's. I'm less inclined like that now, but I have had that. Like if you would have mentioned Green or whatever, I've never heard of this dude, but like
Greenwood
or what Green? What's his last name?
Oh, Robert Green.
Robert Green.
Yeah.
I wouldn't have been interested in that unless I heard him on the podcast or something.
Yeah, that's right.
But which is good. I listen to so many different podcasts, but it's kind of a bad. Probably something I gotta work on for sure. Just like being more open to
other people's Yeah. That is interesting though. Thanks for telling me. Now if I want you to listen to something, I'm gonna be like I've never read this book, but I heard about it, and I don't think I'm ever gonna read it. And then you'll be like, I'm gonna read it.
Exactly.
Yeah, that's funny.
I don't know.
But like kind of like going back to what we were saying earlier, like the other thing that I heard about that, which is like with setting expectations, which is the flip of what we talked about earlier, which is the best thing you can actually do is you go, hey, you want to go see Dune 2? And they go, is it good? And you go, yeah, it's decent.
Yeah.
It's decent. And then they go see it and they go, wow, that's really good.
But that may not make them watch it. But I think it's
true.
It's also like
it's a balance.
I don't really like watching movies that if someone else watched, oh, this is such a good movie.
Yeah.
I don't necessarily like watching it with that person because they already watched it. I want to watch the movie.
I do have that. Like I refuse when people are like, oh, I've seen this movie. It's really, really good. Let's watch it together. I'm like, no, let's watch something neither of us have seen.
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm like that.
Although The King, I love that movie so much. It's on Netflix that I have done that to like multiple people, so don't feel bad. But it's so good. I genuinely want to watch it more than I want to watch any other movie.
That's it. Timothy Chalamet or whatever his name is.
Yeah, he's in Dune.
Yeah.
I mean, honestly, like that's the first time I heard of him was on The King, and he did great. He did an amazing job. Just the setting and everything. It's my favorite setting. You gotta you got a young dude, whatever, and it's in the Middle Ages. Yeah. And he's just he's basically just partying whatever. Yeah. And but has a friend that's been a soldier and everything. They're he talks about stuff, and he's just very aware of things. He doesn't buy into all the bull crap going on, the ideologies and everything. And you think he would be a terrible king, but he's against war and everything. And he his brother's named to be king, and then he's this is my battlefield or whatever. And he comes up and fights a duel to prevent all out war or battle.
Right.
Yeah.
So he's saving his men essentially from.
Yeah, but that's just the beginning. That's kind of a spoiler, but it's still really good. But anyways, I love that setting. Like that. I mean, like movies like that are my favorite.
Yeah. I think one of my favorite movies is Troy.
Troy, yeah.
That's a good movie.
Troy is awesome.
I think that's one of the. Brad Pitt, I don't think he's played in a movie that I thought was trash. Like every movie he's been in. Burn Notice. You ever see Burn Notice? That one I didn't appreciate that one. But
the last one that he came out was terrible.
Which one is that?
I don't even know the name of it, but I was watching it, I'm like, this is literally the dumbest movie I've ever seen.
That's fair.
It was like, you got a bunch of, I think it was comical. You could tell he wasn't taking it seriously. Like, he was not taking it seriously at all.
I don't think he does well in comedies, typically. Although Mr. and Mrs. Smith was good. Did you see that?
I don't think I have. Well, I probably did, but I don't remember.
Yeah, I mean, don't bother seeing it. It's okay.
Okay.
Nah, it's really good. I like Mr. and Mrs. Smith, but
yeah.
No, but as far as like it reminded me when you're talking about the king. It reminded me of Troy because it's like it's a situation where they're having the battle and they decide to have a duel instead because the side that he's on knows that he's one of the best fighters ever, and so they decide to do a duel instead. And he's like drinking hungover in a tent, and this kid comes and gets him. They're like, they need you, and he's like frustrated. You know, he gets up on his horse, and the boy's like, aren't you scared? And he goes, no. And the boy's like, I would be. And he goes, and it was just such a harsh comment to a boy, but he goes, and that's why no one will ever remember your name.
Yeah, that was a good line. Kind of messed up though. Not messed up, but
it was great. That was such a good movie. Oh, the other part of the movie I think that was really good, which is like one of my favorite scenes in that movie was I think there was a slave or a girl that he captured. Yeah, I forget the details of it, but she was in his tent and she started like basically fighting with him and basically calling him animal and all that stuff. And he said, and I'm gonna butcher this, but he's like, can I tell you a secret? He says, the gods envy us. He says, they envy us because we're mortal. He says, you will never be as beautiful as you are now. You will never be here again. I thought that was such a powerful line, a powerful frame shift, you know, between being immortal and being mortal. Well, not necessarily diffuse the situation, but it's just that it's a mental frame shift from how normally people look at it. Everybody wants to be immortal, and he's saying mortality, being mortal, given that the fact that we're going to die someday, it makes life that much sweeter because we know that it's finite. It's just like, you know, if you eat cake or ice cream or whatever, or chocolate, like in World War II, chocolate was rare sometimes. So the fact that it's limited, it's a finite supply, makes chocolate that much sweeter. If there's an unlimited supply of chocolate, it's like you're just like, yeah, chocolate, I can have that anytime I want. I don't really care. So that's what I appreciate about it.
Yeah.
But anyways, movies, they're good.
They are good.
Yeah. What's your favorite movie?
A Knight's Tale.
Oh, that's a good one.
Yeah.
That's a good one.
Well, it's. I mean, and The King is definitely up there too. But yeah. A Knight's Tale. That was like. It was a ritual. We used to go when I was younger to Florida, and we'd watch it every single time.
Oh wow.
Yeah.
That's neat.
Yeah, it was cool. I love that movie. I love like, We Will Rock You, like that song when they're on the benches. I love that. It's like the craziest music I got to listen to when I was a kid was that movie.
You know what's crazy about that movie that I really appreciate is that it was a medieval movie, and they put modern day music to it. And the thing is,
It worked.
It was such a risky artistic move on the part of the producer, because if you think about it, I don't really know of any other movie that's like that.
No.
Just, I mean, and it's possible they're out there and it's just out of my purview, but like, I've never seen anything like that. And your thoughts going into it, if somebody told you about it, like, hey, this is, you know, a medieval movie, but they put like modern day music to it, you're gonna get trash. Like, that's not gonna be good.
Yeah.
But it was really, really good. And the way they spliced it in there, beautiful.
Yep.
Beautiful.
You know the guy that played the gambler dude? I forget his name. He played a Vision in Avengers. He was the robot, or he was. You mean? And he played in Knight's Tale too. Yeah. He was the guy that was like.
Yeah, I forget his name.
He was doing he was the gambler that lost all his clothes, and then he like clothed me. For God's sake, feed me, and let me ride that horse for you. Then you'll have your records.
That he was playing a character, Sir Geoffrey Chaucer. Sir Geoffrey Chaucer was actually a writer, a writer in history, and he actually some of his works, his writings were like the most provocative at the time. So he would actually listen to some of his writings just for fun when I was younger, and they're like very sexual.
No.
But like in Old English, so it's almost like some of his writings are almost like a descriptive porn scene, but in Old English, and they're funny.
Huh.
It's wild. It's wild. But the guy's name. I forget the actor's name, but he's a brilliant actor. He also played in I think Margin Call. I think there's a financial movie he played in that I watched a long time ago. But he's a tremendous actor.
Yeah, he's really good. I'm trying to remember. There was this other movie he played in that he was really good. But
wasn't it? It was like, did he say like? Was it Paintings of Nobility or
Paintings of Nobility?
Yeah, I think it was.
Writings of Nobility, or
Paintings or
something for history, like the history of his nobility. He forged documents for his nobility.
Right. Yeah.
And what's your favorite movie?
That's definitely up there. That one is.
Yeah.
Probably. There's a couple, but I would say definitely Gladiator.
Gladiator's good.
Is up there. Braveheart up there.
Yeah.
I would say The Patriot. The Patriot is up there. Mel Gibson. Mel Gibson's done a lot of good movies.
Lord of the Rings.
Lord of the Rings not up there for me.
Really?
It's good, but not up there for me. It's like it's up there, but it's not like. It's not in the top 10 for me.
I love the beginning of. I love the whole thing, but my favorite type of movie is like the beginning part, like Lord of the Rings.
Yeah.
And like the King, like the building part, the adventure part. That is like my favorite.
Right. You like the build up of the story.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's like it's really exciting, and like you're starting at a small place, and you're you like go through challenges and stuff, and then you end up in a higher place or achieving something epic.
Yes.
I love that type of plot.
I will say that The Hobbit, the other movie in that series or whatever that's outside of the Lord, because the Lord of the Rings is like the trilogy, right? Is when I think of Lord of the Rings, and then The Hobbit is in that world, and the Hobbit movie came out after that. Trash.
Yeah, I didn't like it at all.
The cinematography, like the mountain and everything, and actually the music to it, beautiful.
Yeah.
But the actual, like, the storyline, it was just like, I was watching it there, I'm like, when's this gonna wrap up.
Yeah, I watched it in the theater and I was bored.
Yeah.
It was
You're
not.
climbing this mountain forever.
Yeah.
Forever, bro. It's like an hour later, they're still climbing the freaking mountain.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's gotta add. You gotta have something interesting. I was bummed out.
Yeah. Inception.
Inception's good.
The Revenant. That was pretty good too.
Yeah,
I
think I've watched that.
Yeah, with Leonardo DiCaprio. That was a good movie where he fought that bear.
Oh yeah.
Messed him up pretty good. Let's think. Trying to think of I watched I don't know if you've seen this. There's a movie with Matt Damon.
Matt Damon.
What?
There's like there was like this video. It was like comedy. Matt Damon.
Oh really?
I don't know.
But I actually watched it in a hotel once at a Best Western, and I forgot the name. The Adventurous Life of something rather, I think, or something like that. It's basically when I give you the plot line, you might remember it.
I don't think I did watch it.
I think his character is the name of the character in the movie is like Dickie, I think, or something like that. Anyway, this guy always wanted to be wealthy. The character that's played by Matt Damon, and he meets this guy who's extremely wealthy, befriends him, and then that guy's always inviting him to do things, and they become really good friends. But this guy's kind of like a pompous kind of jerk in a lot of ways, kind of a douchebag. Mm-hmm. And he's dating this girl, and they're going to be married, I think. And Matt Damon's character ends up falling in love with the girl, his quote unquote best friend's girl, and then he ends up killing him. And then he basically like assumes his identity to like other people that don't really know him that well. But then when his girl's around, he just acts like he's Matt Damon again, and like can't figure out where his friend is at. And it's just really, and it's like he's having to move all these pieces around to constantly stay ahead of everybody.
I watched the trailer actually. I didn't end up watching it.
Yeah, it's definitely a good movie. I like really like psychological movies that make you really
know that's gonna end badly.
Yeah, definitely. But
yeah, I've actually been. I was talking to my brother yesterday, kind of switching topics unless you want.
Yeah, no, let's switch topics.
So I know we're planning on like we're still looking into like Rumble, but we're not ready to talk about all that yet.
No,
wanting to do an analysis, more in depth research to get it good.
I still have my short option out on that, by the way, but I'm down actually significantly on that.
On True Social.
Oh, sorry, yeah. On True Social, not Rumble.
Yeah.
But
we're not shorting Rumble. Rumble.
Yeah, we're not shorting Rumble, but we are. I was shorting True Social. Sorry, they're kind of weirdly tied in my brain.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think probably this is something that I've been trying to do is to research it thoroughly, and then later on we can present something that's a little bit more in depth. But I would also like to do the same thing with True Social, and then do a versus kind of.
Yeah.
So, but anyway, sorry, you were talking to your brother.
Yeah. No, and I was looking at like Vantage and like the dividends, and
yeah,
it was pretty impressive. And they pay out like quarterly, and I was kind of thinking like what other companies like do like pay really good dividends.
Oh yeah.
Of course, there's a bunch of cigarette companies and stuff, and there was two that I was interested in. One was like something to do with oil and gas, and the other one was Verizon. I use Verizon, but I was thinking about Verizon, and I'm like, like as much as I think it's a solid company.
Yeah.
But I think that I was kind of thinking about the Warren Buffett way, and just right off the bat, I'm like, 10 years from now, is Verizon going to be here?
I don't know. I mean, Probably, but
I think it will be, but is it going to be doing as well as it is? Because
I don't think so.
right, because like I know they're like actually I have noticed my Verizon service has gotten better.
Has it?
In the past 2 years?
Okay.
Because it was horrible before. I know it was partly because of the 12 plus. I now have the 14.
Oh,
Max.
your iPhone.
Yeah, 12. Yeah. I know it's partly the iPhone, but I have noticed. Like I actually didn't notice, and then the other day a call dropped. I'm like, oh, that's the first time my call has dropped with Verizon in a long time. I'm like, I just noticed that I haven't had issues with my service in a long time. So that was kind of interesting.
That's kind of cool.
But yeah, I don't know. I kind of want to do a little bit more research on Verizon because they were paying I think like 6% with their dividend.
Yeah.
Which is really good.
Yeah.
And I was like kind of thinking it was just for fun. I just kind of like maybe sound ignorant, but I'm like, so LifeVantage is like I thought my brother said it was like 4%, but I was looking at paying 2%, but that's quarterly.
Right.
2% quarterly, and Verizon is like LifeVantage is like $6 a share, and Verizon was 50.
Yeah.
And it's been on an uptrend for a long time.
Yeah.
So I'm like, huh.
That's interesting.
I kind of want to do like see if Verizon is quarterly. I just was glancing at it, so I didn't do it.
Or if it's annual.
Or if it's annual.
Yeah.
And then figure that out, and also because like I do want to add some stocks that are paying dividends because like I mean 2% quarterly is pretty significant.
Yeah.
I mean,
it is. That's 8% annually, and if you think about it, 8% annually is kind of like your return in the stock market. That's like a standard.
Yeah.
For return. I mean, 7-8%. That's like if you get 7 or 8% in the stock market return on your investments, like you're doing it good, decent.
Yep.
So yeah, that'd be interesting to check out.
I was just looking at. I just want to double check. LifeVantage.
Sure. My like perception of Verizon, and maybe this is just like my perception, and it's not really shared by other people, but I feel like
dividend yield 2. Yeah, I could have sworn my brother said 4%, but that might be just with him because he rode through it with.
Well, that could have been their dividend at one point, and he may not be currently.
Yeah.
Because they do change the dividend yield.
Yeah, the 23 cents yield per share.
2.13%.
Yeah, that just came out. So.
Yeah. But they do change the dividend, and sometimes they actually take away dividends. And then they add them back. It's typically, like, dividends are...
Q3 earnings. Look at that earnings.
Yeah, they overshot the projection.
Q3. That's insane.
Yeah.
Pretty sick. Just been adding weekly stuff.
Nice.
Up.
Oh yeah, that's good. No, but like typically dividends are paid out when they can't find any better use for the extra cash in the company. So they don't feel like they could get a better return by investing in themselves in assets or labor or adding to whatever, you know.
And they want to attract investors.
Well, yeah, but they just can't figure out what else to do with it. And then it's usually a lot of times it's actually bigger companies that are like I would imagine the cigarette companies that you looked at are in this category, which is that they've already taken up a large market share, and they don't really feel like that they're not really a growth stock anymore because they already control a big section of the market. So basically, now that they're going to go ahead and pay dividends because there's really no better way to invest that cash.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah, look at this. So price earnings ratio. So 14. Is that per share? I don't.
That's just a ratio of price to earnings. So it's like basically, I think it's the price. It's just the price divided by the. No. Sorry, price to earnings ratio. Yeah, it's just the price divided by the earnings. Is all it is.
It'd be interesting because dividend yield is 6.81%. I wonder if that's quarterly. I'm gonna be buying Verizon,
Right?
because that's it can't be quarterly.
Well, that's 6.81 dividend yield. Yeah, I don't know.
That would be interesting.
Yeah, that'd be interesting to check out.
If that's the case, I'm gonna be loading on that because that's like, I mean, over time, we'll try to find a good buy because I mean we're right now.
Yeah, find a good entry point.
Yeah.
I feel like Verizon, this kind of going back to what I was thinking earlier, which is that, and maybe this is just perception I have myself and it's not shared by everybody, but like, I feel like 5 years ago, Verizon was more in the conversation than it is now. It's like, I feel like T-Mobile is kind of at the forefront of all the mobile carriers, and then you have AT&T and Verizon are kind of on the same level.
I think Verizon's better than AT&T.
Than AT&T?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They're more expensive, but I know, like, I've switched.
I think T-Mobile's better than Verizon. Dude, if you look up the coverage map, they have more coverage than any other carrier.
I mean, definitely not a couple years ago.
No, not a couple of years ago, but
I don't know, I'd have to see.
T-Mobile bought Sprint. They control the Sprint towers now.
True. That would be interesting, yeah, to see. I know their prices are good, but
yeah,
like when I looked at, I could not do it because like they were dropping and people I knew with T-Mobile, the phone calls dropping, everything.
Yeah.
No. And data. Like, what about data? Do you have unlimited data?
It's I do have I have
it slows down after
but
20 gigs or something.
No, it slows down I think after 50 gigs, I think. But I don't really hit that. So
yeah. But Verizon's 38.90 actually. It's not 50, but I think that was that other stock I was looking at. But it's actually looking like not a terrible time. I mean, but according from what I'm hearing, I don't know if this is true, but I mean everyone can kind of feel it, like we're like headed towards like a recession. So
sure.
I don't know. I think it's like I still want to buy cost dollar average.
Mm-hmm.
But like I think the majority I'm going to be trying to like save as much cash as possible.
Yeah.
Because I just feel it. At least just save it, have it,
yeah,
and then get ready to buy.
Yeah, I don't think that mobile carriers will even if we do have an economic recession, I don't see mobile carriers falling all that much. And the reason is because people aren't going to cut their service.
No,
it's like water, electric.
If you're running into really bad financial times, people will start, like, if they're gonna lose their house, they're gonna start selling their stocks.
Well, but they're gonna start. Well, yeah, that's for sure. But it depends on how bad the recession gets. Yeah. But then also the other thing is that if inflation keeps going the way it is, mm-hmm. your dollars price, the equity priced in dollars is going to keep going up just because everything priced in dollars is going to get more expensive.
Yeah.
And I feel like the mobile carriers are still going to be earning quite a bit of money because, like, you think about it, it's almost like you would probably stop paying on your house, almost, in some regard, sooner than your phone in some ways.
Almost, yeah.
It's like right up there with like the necessities of life.
That's probably a freaking solid asset. I mean, as long as here's one big thing though.
Yeah.
So like that came to my mind, Starlink.
Oh yeah. What about it?
If they start a cell phone service with Starlink, that I could, and it's like way cheaper.
Yeah, satellite phone.
And like they got enough satellites. There's just no dead zones
anywhere.
Nothing. And blinding fast, unlimited internet.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. Like,
bro, that could just crush all.
Everybody.
Like, it.
Well, that's why. That's why I don't know if you knew this, but I think I could be wrong on this, but I do know that a lot of internet service providers were suing Starlink, and I think it was also cellular mobile carriers that were suing Starlink.
Yeah.
Over using a certain frequency. So they were basically saying, we don't want you to be able to use this frequency. And their reasoning behind it was basically, like, they came up with some reason, but it was, you could tell, it was just purely on the basis of they want to stay competitive.
Yeah. Good luck.
Yeah.
Good luck. I mean, as much as just imagine if you're like a CEO of that company and you're seeing this happen. You can see the kind of writing on the wall.
Yeah.
I mean,
especially if you're satellite.
It's like, dude, they're laughing at this guy throwing rockets, but he's launching those rockets all the time. Yeah. Like, all the time. More and more satellites. It's gonna get to a point where, like,
it's a constellation.
People think that, like, I mean, if you're thinking about, like, if you go to a store and there's a Chinese product, you're gonna get that product over another one, even though it's cheaper and it's like maybe not as good. What about something that's cheaper and way 10 times better?
Way better. Yeah.
So that's literally what entered my mind when I was thinking about Verizon. Cause I was like, that's a very attractive dividend right there. So it might be like, I mean, yeah, will it hold a 10-year period? That is literally my mind hesitation, because I wanted to buy that. I wanted to buy some.
Yeah, that's interesting. Or, yeah, and how do you compete with that? You gotta launch your own.
You can't compete with it.
You can't, because the thing is even if you, sure, you can't compete with it, because the reason he's able to launch so many is because he owns SpaceX.
But here's another thing though.
Yeah.
I don't think that's even. I was kind of thinking, like, what if? Well, one thing that could happen to Starlink, if you think about it as a long-term business plan, like some sort of virus or hack or whatever that shuts down all the satellites, or you get a solar flare.
Or if you start having countries go to war, and they just so happen to not like decide the country that Elon is supporting. Like, for instance,
I was thinking about that.
For instance, with his whole thing with Ukraine, he supported Ukraine, kind of. Right? Do you think the Russians appreciated that?
How many missiles do they have that can go out into space, though? You would have to have so many, because it's like a drones. There's more than, how many Starlink satellites are there? Because I was just thinking about that.
It's in the thousands. I think it's like, dude, I want to guess. I'm gonna say there's 6,000.
You're damn close.
What?
You're close. Sorry.
Cussing.
I did it this time. Dang it. 5,874.
Wow.
Right on the. That was a very good guess.
Well, because at one time, this was like a couple years ago, I knew there was 2,400 a couple of years ago, and so I kind of extrapolated the pace at which they're going.
Dude, so that okay, so there's 5,896. That's a more recent one. But yeah, if you think about an attack though, if they want to shoot them down, like.
Well, it may not be, though. You may not have to actually shoot them down. You may actually just have to shine a laser at them.
True.
I don't know. We're just speculating here. I'm not a.
Well, I'm just thinking about. I'm just thinking about worst case scenarios, because you want, like, can you even invest in Starlink? It's private.
You can if you invest in Destiny 100. I think Starlink's in there. I know SpaceX in there. I think Starlink as well. But they're both private companies. But what you can do is you can invest in Destiny 100, A friend sent me that, which I haven't responded, but I need to look that up. It's like the top, I think top 100 private companies in the tech sector. What are you looking up?
Only way to buy stock is its IPO. Stock before its IPO is invest with private equity firms who have access to it.
Yeah, but that's what you're essentially doing with the Destiny 100 is you're buying a public company that holds private equities.
Destiny 500.
100.
Destiny 100.
Which it makes me think of Destiny, the video game, actually.
Equity firm?
Just Destiny 100. Just look at that up.
Tech 100?
Yeah, Destiny Tech 100. I think it's like an ETF, I think.
23 companies. SpaceX? It's 34.6%
Yeah.
equity.
OpenAI. These are the ones that they hold, by the way. Instacart, Chime, Public. I don't know some of these.
Discord.
Impossible Foods. Plaid. Plaid is like, I think, a payment service.
So how do you, this is on the exchange?
Yeah. You're so interested. And it just recently just got marked, bro. It dropped hardcore. I don't know what it's at right now.
That's cool. Equity 100.
I don't know if it's on the New York Stock Exchange or if it's on the NASDAQ or both, or I don't know. You show up?
Why did I put I'm tired. Destiny. Yeah, I just got, I drove 9 hours this morning.
Light work.
Yeah.
Stop complaining.
Woke up at 3 a.m.
Everybody wakes up early.
Yeah. Drove 2,940 miles this week though.
That is actually a decent amount. I'll give you that. That's a decent amount.
About Destiny. Sweet Destiny Tech 100.
Yeah, see how it just got smacked? It got smacked. Dude, a friend told me to invest when it was
it's only
like $80.
Well, so it's just a launch company.
Yeah, just IPO.
Oh man. Yeah.
Yeah. Dollar cost average of that.
Added. My first list. Yeah. So what I'm gonna.
I should be paid a percentage as a broker commissioner.
I'm so happy about this because 38% of SpaceX. That is
Heavy.
no, or 34.6%.
Yeah, that's heavy. Heavily weighted on SpaceX. Which is a long-term. That's a huge long-term play.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Which you're smart to don't ever
Don't ever, but
this
for the majority of the times, IPOs you don't necessarily want to get into them. I would
unless you short
personally. That's what I think. Not financial.
I'm not recommending. I don't. Yeah, but it's that's typical. You start out like that. So just IPO'd. It's new. I mean, how much money would that have to be to SpaceX? So
well, that's just the percentage of their portfolio. So you'd have to look at how big their portfolio is.
Destiny Tech 100 operates as a non-diversified, closed-end management investment company. The company was founded on November 18, 2020, and is headquartered in Austin, Texas. The listed name for DXYZ is Destiny 100. This is going to be I'm going to redo a lot of research on it.
But that's exactly what we were talking about with that act that allows that private or retail investors to invest in private equity. This is kind of a revolutionary way to actually invest in private equity and to get some of those gains.
I'm stoked. They don't have any dividends.
Yeah.
It's not an investment recommendation. Well, no, that's just a clause, but okay. Well, that's really cool.
Yeah, right.
I'm really interested in seeing what happens. I'll probably what I'll do is just because you don't know what's going to happen, I may just start cost selling averaging, but it wouldn't surprise me. It wouldn't surprise me if like something like this went down like to like $5 a share or something like that.
Oh, sure. Yeah.
But
cool.
I just like the fact that you can have a part of SpaceX.
That's cool.
That's what I'm really stoked about.
Yep.
And OpenAI.
That's also.
That's ChatGPT, right?
Yep.
I wish it was a bigger stake. It's only 3.8%.
Yep. Yeah, I actually heard the CEO talk about. They asked him why he was so heavily invested in SpaceX, and he kind of skirted the question. He didn't really answer it.
Wait, sorry, I missed what you said.
There's the CEO, and I forget his name, but the CEO of Destiny 100.
Mm-hmm.
They asked him why he's so heavy on SpaceX, and he kind of didn't answer. He kind of obfuscated things and didn't really answer it like straightforward. But he kind of just was talking and kind of not directly answering. And then towards the end, he was just like, "Yeah, he's everything that we invest in." He said, "Could change, but that's where we're at right now. Like that's what we're invested in right now."
That's not a very good answer.
Yeah, but you gotta think he's a portfolio manager. Like that's what they're gonna do. They're always gonna rebalance their portfolio. They're never ever gonna stay in one position.
I gotta figure out.
You're not investing in just these. You're investing in the actual like fund, and the fund's gonna change out like private equity all the time. They're gonna change out the companies that they invest in all the time.
Annual management fee 2.5%. Current portfolio 23 companies. Target portfolio 100. So that doesn't get me excited. 100 companies.
Why?
Because put all your eggs in one basket and watch them grow. Warren Buffett.
I'm not like I wouldn't be worried about that.
Well,
there's more than 100 good companies out there.
Yeah, I know it's a team and everything, but yeah, pretty much to do accurate, like good judgment on this, you would have to research every single one of these, which I see 3 winners right now, in my opinion.
Yeah, Chat or
Discord,
OpenAI,
and SpaceX.
Yeah. Cool. Yeah, we'll have to check that out.
That's really cool. I should have shorted it though. That would be funny.
Oh, at the IPO. But you never know how high they go. It's like you could have shorted at like look at this. It goes from
$100.
Look, you could have shorted at like $8.60 or whatever, and then it goes up to 99. And you get crucified. It's funny that it went up to 100 and then it went down from there, considering it's called Destiny 100.
I should have reached 100 out of New Comical.
Yeah.
I would have liked that for some reason.
Yeah.
But yeah, cool stuff.
Yep.
Yeah. Well, what do we got time? Now it's about an hour. We kind of just winged it this week. I know we're planning on. We've been both working a lot, so
Yeah.
but consistency is key.
Yeah.
Be here next week.
Yep. All right.
Yeah.
That finishes up episode
102.
Episode 22. So
Yeah.
we'll see you again next week, guys. Appreciate you tuning in.
Yep.
Take care.
Take it easy.